We take a look at the movies coming to theaters and streaming platforms this weekend.
Candace McMillan, the movie guru with Seattle Fine, joins us this morning. So Candace, good morning to you first off. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Doing well. How about you?
Good. We're good.
We're excited about the movies coming out this weekend. Let's start with Ezra, which is showing in theaters. This film has a lot of big names in it, doesn't it?
A lot of big names. Pretty much everyone you can think of. Robert De Niro, Whoopi Goldberg, Rose Byrne, Rainn Wilson, Bobby Cannavale is the main kind of, protagonist here. Tony Goldwyn directs and stars. But, all these big names, and the one that you focus on is the title character, Ezra, who's played by a newcomer, William Fitzgerald. He's a neurodivergent teen who takes on, kind of a big role as a child with autism who's pulled between his divorced parents. Bobby Cannavale, Rose Byrne, they're together in real life and they play a, divorced couple here. It turns into a road trip movie, which is kind of interesting. A traumatic event happens. Cannavale's stand-up comedian dad character decides to go to LA with his son, and it kind of goes a lot of places. I don't think it goes the places we want it to go. Rose Byrne, she kind of is spinning her wheels as this worried mom, and it's a one-trick pony. Robert De Niro is totally underutilized. He's a legend. And Cannavale's character is just so unlikable. So there's not much here. It's a family drama. I see what it's trying to do. It's a really important story to be showing these different communities and, giving voices to people who traditionally don't have voices in Hollywood. But it's just not something I'll probably be watching again.
Star-studded, but it was a flop. And Vera Farmiga's in there. You got some good actors.
Yes. I had some high hopes for that one. Darn it.
Well, pretty cool for that newcomer actor.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
You won't hate it.
Okay.
It's just, not rewatchable.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
That's fair.
Sounds like
I like the trailer. The trailer looked good to me.
It did, yeah. It really had the emotion. Okay, next on the list, the comedy summer camp.
Yes. So if you liked Book Club or its sequel, Book Club 2, then Summer Camp will be right up your alley. It's a very light, frivolous, golden years comedy, that doesn't have much going for it except its stacked cast and just really light, conflict-free plot. It's got Diane Keaton, Kathy Bates, Alfre Woodard, who stars three best friends who meet as summer camp as kids. They return decades later for a reunion, and hijinks unfold, mess hall, food fights, and falling overboard and rafting. Nothing too crazy. There's some big name love interests too, Eugene Levy and Dennis Haysbert, who's known for his voice of Allstate. But, the premise is that's what it is. It's a summer camp premise. There's not much else happening. It's simple. It's fun. It's lighthearted. If you're in the mood for that, this will just fly by.
Okay, another movie with big stars.
I know.
You can't go wrong with the Allstate guy. Are you in good hands?
With Allstate. I love that. You don't like horror movies, do you?
I don't know, so I'm not sure about this next one.
I don't think she's going to be a fan of this one, but we have In a Violent Nature is what it's called.
Yes, I feel like we had to do we have drama, comedy, and now we had to do horror this week. It was just inevitable. In a Violent Nature, the name pretty much says it all. It's pretty violent, but it's a different type of violent than I think we're used to. Most traditional horror films, they show the kids, we get to know the kids. Even if we know that they're going to get butchered eventually, we get to know them and either like them or hate them. We don't see the main, antagonist until he pops out of a closet. That is not this movie. Writer-director Chris Nassar is kind of flipping that on its head. We're following the killer the entire time. So we're following through the woods as he's about to kill someone, and then the gore happens or the bloodshed. But there's no real surprise. There's not that ominous score that builds up to the moment of, jumping out of your seat. So it's a little bit different. It's kind of more of a clinical horror movie. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think I love it. I'm a big fan of horror. I like the lore that we get to know what's happening and why. The murderer in this is an undead who's risen from his grave when a locket is taken from his gravesite. So it's got some lore there, but it doesn't develop it enough for me. And I'm sure you can see from the trailer here, it's a lot of walking through woods, and which isn't a bad thing. And I think for some people who like experimental horror, this will be interesting for you. It just wasn't that interesting to me.
So if you had to pick one of the three of movie of the week, which one would you pick, Candace?
Oh man.
She's like, eh.
I think I would choose. I'm a horror person. I
Yes.
probably wouldn't rewatch a drama. I would rewatch a horror just to see what I missed.
Okay.
So I'm a little biased. Summer camp is pretty fun. It's pretty ridiculous. I think it depends on where you're stationed. I mean, I don't think Tyra's going to go see the horror film.
No.
Candace, I'm surprised
it's not
you can
her genre.
just rewatch a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, how do you rewatch a horror film?
There's an art to it. There really is an art to it.
All right, then. Well, that's our list for the weekend.
It is.
We've got quite the
It's a
selection.
good mix, Candace.
What are you guys what would you choose?
Oh, I mean, summer camp seems like it would be an easy watch, but I would
Yeah.
probably go for the first one.
I think so too, just because I like all the stars. I
Yeah.
like Rose Byrne.
Bobby
Yeah.
Cannavale he's great.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Probably
Robert
the
De
first.
Niro. Yeah.
Ezra.
Ezra.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, we'll go with that one.
I get it.
Thanks,
Candace.
Candace. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
So why